Good afternoon, students. This is Akansha Tyagi, and I'll be taking your lecture on perception. Before starting with perception, I want to make you know why we need to study perception. See, in this world, whatsoever we know comes from our perception. Perception is a cognitive process because through our sensory organs, we continuously select the stimuli from the external environment, we process it, and we give meaning to the external environment. So, perception. First of all, I want to make you clear that what perception is. Perception is just like your input, processing, and output. Whenever we give input to your CPU, you receive a same output. But what makes processing by a machine or a CPU different from perception is, see, the input, that is the external environment, is same for all of us, but we all give different meaning, that is output to it. Perception may be defined as a process by which people select, organizes, and interpret or attach meaning to the event happening in the external environment. Whatsoever we knows about this external world comes from our perception. Now you must be thinking that why we need to study perception. See, whatsoever we knows about this world comes from our perception. But what we knows as a reality may be actually completely different from what reality is. Now we are moving on to features of perception. Perception is an intellectual process. Why? Because we select various inputs from the external environment. Perceptual input can be your event, object, thing, anything by which an individual is surrounding actually comprises of your perceptual input. We select these inputs through our sensory organs, that is your eyes, ears, skin, etc. Through our neurons, we take it into brain, we select it, we organize it, and we interpret it. And then we give meaning to the external environment. That's why perception can be called as an intellectual process. Perception is the cognitive and psychological process because on the basis of the information we are seeking through perception, we are generating feeling, likes, dislikes towards external environment. Perception being intellectual and cognitive process is subjective. Why? Because the external environment is similar for all of us, but we all give different meaning to it. That's why perception is a subjective process. Now, class, we are moving on to the process of perception. Perception process comprises of perceptual input. Ev- all the stimuli which are present in our external environment, that can be any event, object, and thing, comprises of perceptual input. Perceptual input, though is not a part of perceptual process, but it is very important for the process of perception to occur. Once through our sensory organs, we are selecting the perceptual input, we organize it, and we give meaning to the word through interpretation. And now, on the basis of your interpretation of the stimuli, we give perceptual output. Perceptual output is in the terms of values, attitude, and behavior towards the external environment. Now, why it happens that we all are surrounded by similar stimuli, but we all give different meaning to it because of a human tendency that we are having a limited capacity and we cannot absorb all these stimuli in our external environment. There are two factors which works under perceptual selectivity. Few are external factors and other are internal factors. External factors are present in the external environment, and internal factors are like your self-belief, our inner needs, etc., which helps us in selecting only few stimuli from the external environment, and we filter out rest of the stimuli from the external environment. So, class, this is all about the process of perception. In the next class, we will be studying about perceptual selectivity, that why an individual all pays attention only to few stimuli and filters out rest of them. Thank you and see you in the next class.